Then I have a housekeeper now, like I stated. But even before the housekeeper gets here, I still have my my place is still organized. I wash my dishes. I fold my clothes. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, gentlemen, is that, hey, instead of putting out to a woman when you're dating or in a place of courting and you're trying to get to know a young lady and see what she's willing to do, instead of saying, hey, do you cook? Do you clean? Present your life to her to where she has to question what she's going to do while she's there. Because I promise you, gentlemen, there's not a woman that is a good woman that wants to be in a man's life and doesn't feel needed and doesn't feel like she has to contribute or bring some level of value or some level of quality to his life. What up, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with Truth Table. Welcome to the table. Today, you already know what I do when I jump on this camera. I get in the kitchen, I get cooking. Today is no different. Gentlemen, I want to address something that I hear regularly on this space, in these spaces collectively. Like I've told you guys before, I digest content myself as I am a content creator. I believe that it's necessary that if you're going to do something, you should also, receive that. You want to be, a great stockbroker, you should probably read and research stocks or have someone that you are mentored by. Either way, what I wanted to touch on is the fact that there is these conversations that happen regularly about, this newfound discovery that as a man, and then as maybe a high value man, or maybe a man that is doing exceptionally well in life, better than most, that now with his success, there is an expectation that the woman is supposed to come with the domesticated duties that are cooking, cleaning, laundry, and so forth. Now, I can understand why this particular argument is being posed, because a lot of what's going on nowadays is more than it was at a point in mid-century. We understood as men what we were supposed to do. Our job was to go out, work, provide. That's what men were supposed to do. And that's what we've done since the beginning of time. With that came, already baked in, mind you, was if we were going to deal with a woman, 9 times out of 10, she was going to be our wife. Dating wasn't a thing in the mid-century. Dating wasn't a thing in the early century. Marriage was a thing in the early century as well as the mid-century. Well, that has since changed. And along with those changes have come the fact that women are working nowadays. Women are earning money nowadays. Women are career-minded nowadays. And that's all good and fine. I actually think that it's amazing. I think that it is more beneficial to have 2 adults that are productive, that are going after what it is that they want to accomplish in life. And if that just so happens to bring monetary progress and gain, I applaud it. But why has this affected the relationship space so much? I'm going to tell you why. Because now you have women and men, but mostly women, assuming that with their newfound contribution to life, with their newfound progress that they're having, that they are no longer required to cook, clean, and do domesticated things. Now, I won't go on record and say that that is something that they should do or have to do. No, because mainly what I want to talk about today is, I believe that there's not enough men talking about getting men to understand that, hey, you don't have to subscribe to a domesticated style of a woman. What do I mean? What I mean is that, just because you are successful, just because you as a man are killing it in your respected industry, just because you're a high earner, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna want a domesticated woman. That doesn't necessarily mean that the trade-off is your money and her domesticated duties and her domesticated practices. No. What I found in my own life, and I'll tell you, so story time. Because some of this information that I'm receiving while I am digesting content is new to me as well, gentlemen. and I'm sure it's new to you. One of the things I found in my own personal life, because I've always been ambitious, I've always been chasing after the things that I wanted to accomplish. I've always been very progressive, fairly successful, and that continues until this day. And whether it was the way I was raised or predominantly the way I was raised, but also some personal choices. See, I never really looked at a woman as my supply of, sustenance or cleanliness or anything like that. I've known how to wash my own clothes since I was 8. I've been cooking since I was 7. I know how to balance a checkbook. I'm a self-sustained, self-sufficient man all the way around. And why I'm bringing this up to you guys is because I wanted to share with you that in my life, personally, what I have found is that with my soul sufficiency, my collective amount of abilities, most of the women I've been with have actually been a little bit confused on what is exactly that they were supposed to do while being in my life. Found that to be interesting. Figured I'd share it with you guys. What I've concluded with my many relationships, or my observed response to me being self-sufficient and them being the type of women who did not necessarily mind adding or aiding in the domesticated duties. They were not only lost, but they were actually more inclined to do those things for me, even though I didn't need them. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. You got so many men telling you guys, young guys, middle-aged guys or whatever, that your job as a man is to get the money, to get to the bag, to be the best version of yourself, to earn as much money as you can, so that in turn, a woman is supposed to bring these things. Well, I'm here to tell you that is definitely personal choice. Am I saying that as a man, you should not desire that? No. Am I saying that you should demand that? No. What I'm saying, gentlemen, is that what I have found is that women, in my experience and what I've observed, is in most cases, a woman that first of all desires you, respects you, wants to be in your life, anything that you're already doing or not doing, she'll fill in the gap. To the point to where in my personal life, I know how to cook, I know how to clean, like I said, I know how to balance my own checkbooks. There's nothing a woman can bring into my life that I don't do well or probably do better than her. And in those particular cases, what I have found is that they still seem to try to find what I may be missing. So I'll give you an example. I know how to do my own laundry. Am I a professional? Absolutely not. And there's series to doing laundry. You got your whites, you got your colors, and then you have, how you started. The way I was taught to do it is that you fill the washing machine up to its entirety. You put your solutions in there and all that. Then you put your clothes in there. Then you let the cycle go, take it out, put your static, whatever, sheet in there, your fabric softener, whatever. And you hit the dryer button, put the setting, and you let it go. And things like how the laundry may smell, how soft my laundry was, were what I started to realize that women are so detailed with the nuances. The reality is my clothes are clean. The reality is the process is handled. I know how to wash, I know how to dry, I know how to fold. But because she's a woman, she may grab on your shirt or grab on your towels and be like, oh, babe, what kind of fabric softener you use? Or do you use any? In most cases, I would be like, nah, I don't use no fabric softener. Or, whatever. Oh, I'm going to get you some. Or I'm going to get you some that is a better brand or one that has a different type of smell. And why I'm bringing this up to you, gentlemen, is because I want you to kind of understand that what most men are demanding or requesting or clamoring over was coming automatically for me in every single situation that was a woman in my life. And I believe it was because I never really opened up a position or lacked in any area that required a woman to actually fill in the gap for that. In fact, she seen that I was so self-sustainable without her, good without her, that I think it was somewhat of a blow to their ego and they felt it necessary that to remain as something important, that to remain as something of value for a man like myself, they were going to have to do something. Because if you look at it, gentlemen, what most men are talking about is a trade, and I do this, you do this. Well, since I have this, then these are the things that I need you to do. And that's fair. That's fine. You know, to the point even now, my current lifestyle, I can cook, I can clean, I do all of those things. I don't really care to, you know, how to say, Molly made my place, and I have a housekeeper. You know, she comes and she hooks the place up and gets it all, you know, detailed in the sense that the baseboards and everything. But my place is clean. So what she does is she just comes and she adds another element of cleanliness. But the point is that I think that there's not enough men sharing with you, gentlemen, that the focus should be, when they say be the best version of yourself, I think that from a literal sense, you men should do just that. Am I saying go be Chef Ramsay? No. Am I saying go be Molly Maid? No. What I'm saying is that when a woman meets you, when a woman interacts with you, she needs to find out what you need her for. And cooking and cleaning, okay, if that's what you want her for, by all means. If you're not some man that cares to cook or slave over a stove or whatever, respect. But gentlemen, don't get it twisted. See, it doesn't have to be something that you necessarily know how to do yourself, but it needs to be something that you do well by yourself. It's kind of like before she showed up, how did you feed yourself? Before she showed up, what was your day-to-day like? Were you ordering out? Did you, how did you source food? And if it was Postmates or Uber Eats or, DoorDash or whatever, great. What I will tell you what will happen, gentlemen, is if you are around a woman of quality, if you are around a woman who values you and respects you, and she sees, because they pay attention, if she sees that you DoorDashing and you Uber eating and, Postmating on a regular, if she sees that you're always in a drive-thru somewhere, she will make sure to make you food, or at least bring you food. She will make sure to fill in the gap, because every woman wants to feel like she's contributing to something. And see, this notion that's going on online in this space that, okay, I'm gonna make the money, sweetie, and I just need a woman who just shuts the heck up and cooks and cleans. That's all good and fine, gentlemen, but I think that's the wrong method. I think what you need to do as a man is that you need to provide a balanced life that is so dope that when she meets you and she interacts with you, she has to scratch her head and question, well, what the heck does he need me for? Besides, obviously, sex, besides, obviously, intimacy and those things, This, in my opinion, gentlemen, is the most effective way to get those exact experiences. Because, see, I'm watching these content creators, I'm watching these spaces, and I'm just flabbergasted, because the very thing that these men are saying is of such high value for the women that's going to come and what they need to do. That's been my life for well over a decade. I've never had to ask a woman to cook for me. I've never even had to, request it. It just shows up. They go to a family party and there was food there. They bring me a plate. Ask me if I ate that day. Food shows up. That's been my life. And I believe the main reason is not because I ever said, hey, my woman got to do this and do this and do that. No, I have always looked at myself as a resource. I've always looked at myself as I got to get it done. My room's dirty. My space is dirty. My area's dirty. Ain't nobody gonna come clean this up for me. So I gotta do it first. Then I have a housekeeper now, like I stated. But even before the housekeeper gets here, I still have my place is still organized. I wash my dishes. I fold my clothes. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, gentlemen, is that, hey, instead of putting out to a woman when you're dating or in a place of courting and you're trying to get to know a young lady and see what she's willing to do. Instead of saying, hey, do you cook? Do you clean? Present your life to her to where she has to question what she's gonna do while she's there. Because I promise you, gentlemen, there's not a woman that is a good woman that wants to be in a man's life and doesn't feel needed and doesn't feel like she has to contribute or bring some level of value or some level of quality to his life. I've never met one. I don't think they exist like that. Trust me, it's a more effective method. So that is what I wanted to talk about today. For those of you who just joined the Truth Table family, Truth Table channel, who subscribe to me, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for all my new subscribers. I'm going to continue to bring this content. I hope you guys are getting quality from what I'm doing, what I'm saying, and I'm going to be coming to you with a new video very soon. Thank you very much. Y'all be easy.